Hi, Maureen Gates. Hi, Paul Slackus. How are you?
Great, thank you.
I am very. It's good talking to you. I'm very excited. I want to congratulate you because I've been working on a new book.
Yes, I have.
What's it called?
It is called Dressing Sexy After 50.
Okay, but you're not after 50, are you?
Oh, no, but, foreseeing the future.
So, Maureen is quite a renowned and for been many years been in the costume area in the world of television and movies and theater, and I was just reading about how one time you were working with Raquel Welch, and you worked with a lot of celebrities and stars over the year. Who were some of the celebrities that you've helped dress? You even did Lucy, didn't you do Lucy?
I did. I worked with Lucille Ball on her very last television series that she did. Yeah.
So this is a woman that knows about clothing and how somebody should look well, and throughout she has dressed many of the women you recognize, including Lucille Ball, Lana Turner, Audrey Meadows, Elizabeth Ashley, Helen Hunt. Oh boy! So what's this book about? What's this book about?
Well, I'll tell you. It is about dressing sexy, and it came about from a suggestion by my husband, really. We were going out to dinner, and we were walking to one of our favorite local restaurants, and he was just remarking about how pretty I looked, and this big gust of wind came up. We live in Portland, so it's pretty typical, and blew up my skirt, and panties and all were exposed. It was a real Marilyn Monroe kind of moment, and we laughed, and he said, you should write a book about dressing sexy. And I laughed and said, oh, yeah, dressing sexy after 50, which was very tongue-in-cheek. But from that suggestion kind of grew the idea for this book. So it was suggested by a man, but the book is really for women and about women being sexy for oneself first and foremost. And it doesn't matter, really, if you have a man in your life or even if you want one in your life. It's something that you do for yourself. There is, of course, sort of the theory from Kevin Costner's Field of Dreams, build it and he will come, and that could be a very nice byproduct, sure, if that's ultimately what you want. But my contention is that you do it for yourself first. Okay,
so now, though not everybody has the good taste and the talents that you do. I mean, colors, and you're an artist, and as a multi-talented person, how does the average person do this? How can they go about it? So what's the book? Is the book going to help somebody do that?
Yes, absolutely. That's really what the book is about. It's a how-to book about how to dress sexy. And
so give us an example of some of the chapters in the book.
Well, there is a chapter about color, and there is a chapter about, it really starts, actually the first chapter, which is fundamental to dressing, is about undergarments and starting in your lingerie drawer, and that's really where you need to start to build on a wardrobe. So there's a chapter on that, and then there's a chapter on basic, really the basic pieces that you need to build a wardrobe.
So let's start with the undergarments, because I see you also on your website, and I was looking at it. Bras behaving badly.
Yes.
And this is on Maureen's website, MaureenGates.com. Okay, and I was looking, and there's definitely, believe it or not, this woman's wearing a bra, and then there's another picture of her, and then it's better. So like, let's use bras as an example, because they seem to have gotten a lot more involved over the past years. Is that right? I mean, there's all different kinds. I don't know.
I tell you, there's such a selection out there, and it's gotten kind of pretty high-tech, I guess you could say, in terms that they've come up with a lot of solutions to problems that women have experienced over the years, and whether it be straps falling off the shoulders, or riding up and being uncomfortable, and every woman has experienced some discomfort with a bra, but no longer, it does not have to be the case. But what you need to do is you really need to be fitted properly. I wouldn't suggest to any woman to just walk into the bra section blind. You really need to get help, and you need somebody to measure you first. That's the very first thing that you do. And then have them help you. Don't go in there alone. Have somebody that knows what they're doing and have them do the footwork for you.
Okay, but our bras, would you say, I was thinking about this recently with a friend who is usually like a size 2 or 3 or so, but when it came to the bathing suit, she's wearing an 8 or a 10. Do bras, like if you measure a woman with the measuring tape, say, and she's a 34 or something, and I don't know how the A, B, and C, I guess, is the size also.
Right.
Are the bras true to size?
They're fairly consistent, but they're just like in dress sizes or even in shoe sizes. They do vary. So, and then manufacturers vary them. What would be like, for example, a C from one manufacturer can be a D in another one. So that's also where it's helpful to have the person that is there knowing what bras run what way. Then they can really help you through that.
Okay, let's switch to something that I probably have more familiarity with.
Okay.
That is shoes. Women's shoes, okay? Because I grew up in the women's shoe business. And I've sold thousands of women's shoes, enough to even pay for a little bit of that college time, in fact, and buy a car. So I've sold thousands of women's shoes. So what's your thinking in regard to shoes? Because there are women that are just out of control with shoes. They love them so much and so dearly. And but they need to what's the concept? I mean, it's just not all about the shoes. You still have the clothes that have to go with the shoes, right?
Yes, but you are talking to a real shoe fetishist here. I do love them. I do have probably way too many pairs, but and women do love shoes. And part of the reason that women love shoes is because, for the most part, your shoe size does not change. So you can be pretty much guaranteed if you're going to make an investment that, oh, gee, if I gain or lose weight next year, my shoes are still going to fit. So that's a pretty great thing. But you have to have, like the rest of your wardrobe, you have to have a basic shoe wardrobe too, and know what shoes go with what, and pay attention to that, because shoes can make or break the deal on an outfit. They can kill a beautiful outfit, and on the other hand, they can really make what you're wearing too. You can keep it pretty basic and go out in a pair of black pants and a black turtleneck, and then put on just a killer pair of shoes, and you've got it.
So now, with a killer pair of shoes, I mean, now if there's some color, so do you wear black shoes with that killer black outfit, or could you wear a red pair of shoes,
I say
or
no.
green?
I say embrace color, yeah. And boy, with black, you've got your basic wardrobe. You can pretty much put anything, except white. I would say stay away from white. But a bronze pair of shoes, something in a nice metallic or in a great color, looks terrific. Really picks up an outfit.
So tell us a little more about the book.
So the book starts each chapter. There are 12 chapters, and each chapter opens with an anecdotal story of somebody that I worked with, and they're amusing stories. They really give an insight into the world of television and film, and how fittings come about, and how characters are developed, and so through those stories, then I go on to really the topic of the chapter. So either it's shoes or your basic wardrobe, color, what you should wear at home, and then the final chapter really talks about dressing for the bedroom, for the boudoir, and that's kind of the wrap-up chapter.
It sure the heck is, Maureen. Now, back to the story. All right, so give us a celebrity and tell us what you said about it. Can't say I'm not partial to this Raquel Welch.
All right, I'll start with Raquel.
it wouldn't make me feel bad.
She was lovely, really a delight to work with, and we were doing a fitting, and we got the outfit all set, and it looked great, and we were down to the shoes, and I had shopped for shoes, and we just didn't come up with the right pair, and she said, I have something perfect in my wardrobe that would look great with this. And she turned to her person that came with her and said, make a note that tomorrow we should bring for the fitting those black strappy shoes with the silver detail on the heel. So next day she comes, and her person brings this bag and pulls out this black strappy pair of shoes with silver detail. And she said, "Oh no, not that pair." And so same thing. Next day she comes with a bag. This bag much bigger, this big duffel bag, and it really was like the clowns coming out of the VW. It was just one pair after another, all sort of fitting the same kind of criteria. Black strappy with a silver bit of detail on the heel, and then finally, after several pairs, out came the pair. She said, "Yes, that's it." And sure enough, they looked perfect with the outfit.
How about attitude of a woman, in addition to dress?
Attitude is just key and core to dressing and to being sexy. It's just where you have to start. And you can be dressed in the most beautiful outfit, but if you look like the world has dragged you down, it doesn't matter how pretty the outfit is. So you really have to have the attitude. You have to feel good about yourself and look like you embrace life. And that's really what it's all about. It's like finding that fire and passion in yourself, and that comes to life, brings you to life.
Sounds beautiful. You have on your website a sort of a whole, what is this, star of the month, and you have, I like this pick of the week, and you have, let me go home to you had something about Marcel Proust. What was that?
That was a questionnaire. I do a quiz pretty much once a month, and so that was the Proust questionnaire that you answered questions that actually Proust had answered in his lifetime several times, and I've given his answers, and you can come up with your own answers. I've skewed it a bit and said the questions, but then how they relate to dressing. So you can take the quiz either way, the original way or with my new updated way.
Well, I love it. It's a very good thing, I think, for people to take a moment to do. Your favorite virtue when dressing, the need to be loved, more precisely, the need to be caressed and spoiled much more than the need to be admired, okay? What are your favorite qualities in a man, your favorite qualities in a woman, your main fault? These are good things here.
Yeah, food for thought.
Food for thought. And how about food? How about if you're not in a perfect body size? How do you, what should you do?
That does not matter. It really doesn't matter. Obviously, it's easier. We all know that when you're kind of slim and trim and clothes fit better. But it may be a little more time consuming, but you can get there, certainly. There are tips to that. I talk about that in my book also.
Good, because people, especially that now want to look better, and they might not be that ideal weight. Usually I think most people, probably 50% of the world, says they're never at that ideal weight, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do? How do you compensate for that?
Well, first off, I say do not wait and think that, I'll get back into that wardrobe when I lose weight. Don't put it off. Go out. Get yourself clothes that fit, and there are ways to, depending on your body type and depending on what you feel that you don't want to show or what you would like to enhance also, then there are tricks to taking care of enhancing what you want to enhance and kind of giving the illusion that other parts aren't what you what you feel they are. Oh. All of us have something that we think, oh God, I don't like that part of my body. I don't want to show it.
Reminds me of the movie, the stage show, Damn Yankees. Accentuate the positive, minimize the negative.
That's right. Yes. Yep.
But the big package is the most important thing, and to be happy, right? What do you think?
Show it on your face, first and foremost.
There it is. Okay, last question. What's good news for Maureen?
Good news?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Well, hopefully seeing my book pretty soon. That's great news. And continuing on, I love working on my website and sharing that with others. So I encourage everybody to go to my website, MaureenGates.com, and check it out and continue coming back. I always have good tips on how to dress and what looks sexy, and then go forth and do it.
Okay, I affectionately call Maureen Mom because I've known Maureen for long time.
Through many lifetimes.
Through many lifetimes, through many good kinds of things, and she has a lot of wisdom, and she's a super, super kind soul. I love you. Okay,
thanks.
Maureen, thanks, and best of luck with the book.
Thanks so much. Great talking to you.
Nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.